forms.
Playing a single player game together.
Welcome to Collab Not Multiplayer. I'm Honey Shuckle EX.
I'm Zach Bod Barbecue.
And I'm Giggle Klutz. Well, Squid Girl today.
We're all squid kids today.
Because
What?
Booyah!
Oh crap.
Booyah!
Hold on. I think I'm... There we go. I had it open in another tab, so there was a slight echo the entire time. Whoopsies! Whoopsies! Like, I'm used to Twitch, where when you watch your preview, it's automatically muted. This is YouTube. JK, welcome in. Snoop Pigeon, welcome in. It's good to see you. New surroundings, new experiences.
Giggle Klutz on chat. Just saying.
Yeah, so if my mom vanishes, it's just because she's paying attention to you. Are they kids or squids? You already asked that question. There's a slide about that. Well, I'll have you know, I do pay attention when you ask even joking questions.
Technically speaking, they're ink.
Thank you for paying attention.
You're welcome.
You're at a loss without your Kappa emotes. This is what happens when you have a migration from like Twitch to YouTube. There's some things that you just have to live without.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, don't worry. You get to fly back to Twitch when the winter comes around.
Do pigeons migrate?
I don't think so.
Alright, okay. So, should I start the presentation now? Or do we have, like, some more things we need to talk about first? I don't know.
This is for you, Shuckle. So
Alright, well, I want to take time. We're gonna have fun today. Alright? So, I don't have assets for, like, the Collab Not Multiplayer stream yet, aside from the lovely, starting screen, so you guys are just gonna have to deal. You migrate a bunch in your life? No clue if it's the norm. Okay. There we go. We should have that on screen now. Yes, we do. Isn't it pretty? It like, as you can see, I have slapped on an addendum of it's the Q&A edition.
Mm-hmm.
woo.
Alright. So, our first slide, our first official slide here, is from Anonymous on the Google Forms. And the question is it true the professor could have saved anyone but chose Judd, or was the stasis chamber designed specifically for him?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It is a very good question, and I have not been able to find out who asked it, and because the Google form's anonymous. So I'm like, whoever you are, this is a very good question, and I love it. So the answer is that Judd's cryopod was not the only one made, and nor was it the only one actually used. Judd was simply the only one who survived because he had the immortality serum. Now, that serum, that probably could have gone to anyone, and he chose a fucking cat. So, big mood.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'd do.
Like, there's so many memes on the internet about, if you had to share immortality with someone, who would you choose? And it's just like, your pet, duh. Like, people, you can get in fights with people, it's really hard to want to live with, one other person forever, but, a cat?
I mean, you might still get into fights with the cat sometimes, depending on the cat, but even then, that's different.
That's very different. I think it's, this particular part of the lore is also, a really great, use of, displaying what humanity looks like. Because, it's just, yeah, that's exactly what would happen. Alright. So we also have another one from Anonymous.
Hey, thank you, Anonymous.
If you're watching this, shout-outs to you.
If you're watching this, shout-outs to you. The question is, are you a kid or a squid?
Just a sec. Snoop says about the last slide. This is very messed up of the professor to give immortality to his cat. Truly an evil character.
Yeah, I mean, even before this point, Judd had psychic powers, which means he did have, a greater understanding of, life, and that makes it worse. The more awareness you have about, the futility of life and meaning, then, immortality becomes even greater of a curse. So, yeah, fuck you, Professor.
Okay, two more chat things. JK says, I see why I hate YouTube streams. Whenever I hop full screen and back, it resets the chat. And also resets it to interesting messages instead of the entire chat.
Ew.
Lol. And hello, Warple!
Warple! Welcome in!
Hello.
Alright, so we've also got, the question from Anonymous, who might be here. So, are you kid or are you squid? Notably, this is a reference to, the very first advertisement ever for Splatoon in the US, where it was very obnoxious. And it just saying, you're a kid now, you're a squid now, does not really, make you understand what the game is about. God, I love that ad, it's so stupid.
I mean, it's like a lot of those old, toy ads or whatever. It's it'll be the whole gimmick where it's a kid and it turns into a squid, and vice versa.
But it's a video game, so there's more to it than that.
Yeah, but you're a kid now, and a squid now, and a kid now, and a squid now.
Yes.
I suppose you could replace those, ends with them, or whatever.
But growing up, Inklings are a mix between kid and squid, only becoming more defined with age. It's only after turning 14 that you have to choose between the two, so the answer is yes, but you can only be one at a time because you're old now. Life crisis at 14. This age chart we have here, is, in the first art book, and,
kind of his Dark Materials crap going on here.
Yeah.
So there are squids that say squids?
So, DJ Octavio?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always, an octopus form.
Okay.
Because, he was injured, so he can't turn humanoid even though he's an octoling. And now that, Captain Cuttlefish.
Craig?
Yeah, Craig. Now that
Craig?
now that Craig has been injured, he too is trapped in squid form. Very, very flat.
Yeah, it's like... I mean, when you get frickin' I don't know, turn into squid jerky and come back afterwards, I am... Yeah, it kind of makes sense that you wouldn't come back the same from that.
Yeah. I guess this is, like, a good point to, like, talk about, like, why I'm pretty sure that they did that to him. It's because they kind of wanted to end the agent storyline. They've said that Splatoon 3 is, like, the finale. So by doing this to Craig, they're just like, okay, he's done. No more adventures. No more kidnapping.
They had to do this to him because he just refused to retire.
He refused to retire.
How many times are we gonna have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Alright, when we're ready to move on from Craig, Snoop has something to say.
Mm-hmm.
After 14, wouldn't one argue that you aren't a kid anymore, but an adolescent?
You could argue that. Although, like...
Have you met many boomers? just saying.
You may stop being a kid at some point, but that doesn't mean you stop acting like it.
Like, okay, like, that reminds me about, like, why specifically 14? That was another thing that, like, interviewers were asked, and they were just like, this is where you're at your most, like, ambitiously overconfident.
Snoop also says, no more kidnapping? Damn, what are they gonna do for Splatoon 4?
I don't know.
I mean, they could just kidnap someone else.
Yeah.
There's still a large cast of characters to choose from. Could even just make a new one for that.
What? A new damsel in distress?
Yes.
But what are we gonna do with a Splatoon game where we don't have the old man getting kidnapped? It's always the giant fish and the old man. How are we gonna move on from this?
I don't know. You're kind of creative. I think you'll be fine.
I don't know, like maybe a small fish or a young man?
Young man!
Okay.
Okay.
Snoop also says there are boomers in the Splatoon universe, and Wurmple says clearly the answer is that instead of people we know being kidnapped, we do the kidnapping. /J.
Oh! Okay, the answer's so clear now. Ranked modes are gonna be so different.
So it's like capture tag.
I could see that being a very, very unfun Splatoon mode.
It's a new competitive mode. Hostages.
Is there a way we can turn that into an ocean pun?
I don't want to think that hard.
Okay.
We'll have to come back to that one.
Alright. How about we move on then to a question from V, that's me, who asks, why is Kamambo Co. advertising in Splatsville? Now, I did not know about actually this advertisement, which is right here, and I believe it's the one that they're talking about, where it has this giant eye. And so it's like, as far as I can tell, this isn't confirmed to be Kamambo Co. But the eye is very similar to the ones that are already in use, so it's possible. Here are all the logos that Kamambo Co. actually uses, including, like, all the lovely poop ones.
And they got eyes and shit everywhere.
Yeah, eyes and shit everywhere, and you typically don't want those two in the same spot, but here we are.
That's called pink eye. That's called pink eye when that happens.
So in the research I attempted to do for this, I attempted to decode the text that is on the ad, because lots of languages in Splatoon are just like one-to-one swaps with like English lettering. But it's not any text that we've seen anywhere else as far as I can find. Like, none of the ones that we've been able to one-to-one compare with the Latin alphabet, and it's not on any other Kamambo Co. logo either. So, I don't know what this is.
Okie dokie.
I do have a second slide for this. Like, it may simply be a nod to the fact that the Deep Sea Metro is still active and well, and people are immigrating to and from the Metro. They actually export the primary phones that people use in the Splatlands, the sea cucumber phones. So one of my theories when I made the slide is that this is the world's worst tourism promotional image. They may also be doing a rebrand. I don't know.
Well, after the blender incident, I don't blame them for needing a rebrand. Just saying. So somebody joined who's V, that's me.
V, that's me. This is yours.
Okay,
you made it in time.
And they have they want to know your opinion on Perlina.
Okay, so I did cover this in the first episode a little bit, and I love it. I love them together. I am well aware of the fact that they are not confirmed canon, and honestly, I am fine with them never releasing an official statement and just leaving it as is.
Because either way, for one last time, everyone ships them.
Just about everyone ships them.
That ship has sailed. All aboard
for a world tour. But I didn't actually make a slide about how the Deep Sea Metro is integrated into the greater area now, but after Octo expansion, there's several little things that indicate that people both moved to the Metro and moved away from the Metro. For example, the jellyfish that you would see in the deep sea are now in the Splatlands. We can see them walking around. And we have this lore thing about a big party that was held in the Metro called the Low Water Party. And during that, several people went missing. Might admit it I forget if we actually had an actual number. It's probably in the hundreds of people went missing.
Jeez.
And it sounds missing in the way that they just never returned to the surface and not Kamamboko took them. Because there's some things that say that Kamamboko doesn't even exist anymore, that now that Tartar's gone, it just kind of collapsed. Nintendo, I need more information.
Well, I think, what might be happening here is there's actually multiple Kamambokos now, just, they're spelled the same but pronounced differently.
Oh, jeez.
How would you pronounce it?
I don't know.
That doesn't even sound remotely like it has a K.
Kamambiko? So, V, that's me, also says, to be honest, the side order dialogue was close enough to Perlina confirmation.
Yeah, them moving in together and Marina being super defensive that Oct would say anything even remotely close to flirting with Pearl.
Oh, yeah. Jealous much?
Yeah. little jealous. So, yeah, I think it's just one of those silent things that is just we know. We know. So this is all the questions that officially got submitted to me. Thank you very much. So that means that I put together some picks that I thought were interesting, but I couldn't fit into the full videos because they had nothing to do with the main story. And one of those is Squid Squad. Now, OG Splatoon players will know these guys as the people who, in-universe, wrote the main theme of the game. So, the one that goes do-do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do. That's these guys. So, there are 4 members. We've got Nami, who's orange, plays the synth, also plays jazz, and has too many nicknames. We got Ichiya, who's the one in blue, who's the lead vocalist, can't even read music and is kind of selfish. Then we've got Quinn, who's the purple one. He does bass and backup vocals, he's stoic and distant, and incredibly dedicated to the craft. And then we have that urchin who is Murasaki, who is the drummer, high energy, and just spams the snare. And you can tell. The band got along fairly well, and one of their songs, Now or Never, has become a staple of turf war to the point of being actively covered by many bands. No turf war match ends without their hard work. But it wouldn't last. So, yeah, it's, so, like, in Splatoon 1, they are Squid Squad. We have never gotten more Squid Squad. Never. And
it's just amazing to me how much this post-apocalyptic shoot-'em-up game is about band drama. It's like what? What? Okay.
Yeah, they don't write as much about the bands these days as they used to, but that just means that the idols are getting in fights with each other. Like... Yeah, like Shiver and Fry had a rap battle versus Pearl and Marina, and it went about as well as you could expect for them. You don't just try to fight Pearlina. You don't stand a chance. You're gonna get roasted. So, what happened to Squid Squad, though? Because, yeah, Ichia and Quinn did not get along very well. Ichia was flighty and self-indulgent, while Quinn wanted tension and rivalry to create a unique sound. This culminated in an ink weapon fight, and then they both stormed out of the studio. They haven't been seen in the same room since. By the time Splatoon 2 happens, Quinn has formed a new band called Despair. His new bandmate is an Octoling named Mashup. Mashup is not from Octavio's army, instead coming from a rich family and traveling the world regularly. When they met, they seemed as though they were fighting, but it was all just passion coming through. The two don't even write in the same room together, creating that tension Quinn desperately wanted in his music.
So, V, that's me, says half the game is band drama and Tetris.
I think I get what you mean, but...
And Snoop Pigeon says that's how we keep the ESRB rating down, low.
Yeah, we have the band drama instead of, like, showing all the war crimes that are happening in the game.
Right. Band drama, not war crimes. Band drama, not war crimes.
Of course, how I first heard that when you started saying that is ban drama, but not war crimes.
That is not what I said.
That is not what I said.
No. Stop it.
Let's keep war crimes as war crimes, please.
Remember, we agreed on this. Fiction and the past.
Fiction and the past. Right, so I do want to clarify a little bit here as well, that, like, when I say that the two don't write in the same room together, I don't mean, like, they record over Discord or something. I mean they don't even record at the same time. They just, like, whenever they feel like it, enter the recording booth, record some stuff, and then they just slam it together, and it's like, what?
Oh my, that's, okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean by... Like, they don't even write music in the same room. They not at the same time, without any coordination. They just... I can only imagine it makes performing live absolute hell.
And Snoop says we gotta be careful not to make war crimes because of the drama, though.
Yeah, with Inklings, you never know what's gonna happen. It could... There might be war crimes committed over... just the tiniest thing. You could, like, orange juice with pulp, and they'll make a big deal about it. Alright. So, but what happened to the rest of the band members of Squid Squad, though? Because after Quinn left, the other members of Squid Squad were left floundering for several years until they formed a new band, Front Row, 6-ish months before the events of Splatoon 3. They've tried to distance themselves from their history as Squid Squad, trying to be anonymous and refusing to perform in public. They all use pseudonyms to identify themselves. 1 Night, 2 Wasabi, 3 Sauce, and their newest member, 4 Clam. They're a bivalve. This is literally all we know about them. Fans of Squid Squad have continually asked for a reunion of the band, but Front Row has never acknowledged this, and Quinn simply left the despair interview when asked. Squid Squad is likely over for good.
Mm-hmm.
So V That's Me responds to Snoop talking about war crimes because of band drama. V reminds me of Splatfest in Splatoon 2.
Yeah. Like, God, there's so much Splatfest drama, like, IRL. Like, I can only imagine what it's actually like in universe. Aside from, like, how much do people actually obey the law that you can't complain if your team loses? Because I feel like that's very hard to enforce.
V That's Me says, the orange juice!
Talk about a controversial Splatfest. Another one of the controversial ones was the toilet paper Splatfest. Like, which direction should the toilet paper roll go?
Oh yeah, that's a point of contention.
That is a point of contention. I'm a fan of just putting it on the wall and that's it.
It's like, is there some? Is it available?
It will face whatever direction it is facing.
Yeah. Like, putting it one direction makes it harder for a cat to unroll, I guess. But other than that, I do not care. Alright. So that's all I had for Squid Squad. This is, like, the most intense, like, band lore I think we really get outside of the idols, because, I mean, they're, like, the mascots of the games. Of course, they have a ton of lore attached to them.
So, V That's Me also says, I assume about the toilet paper. I mean, that rule is long gone if Chaos won.
Maybe.
Maybe there are more toilet paper rules under Chaos, just to cause chaos.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Morphle says, what do you mean y'all aren't gluing your toilet paper to the wall?
I just had a great idea for an art installation. I call it Night After Halloween Chic.
Please skip the eggs. That's all I have to say, is just skip the eggs.
I have an idea for a new art installation.
I'm thinking, like, maybe I'd take it a bit more of an Easter in October direction.
So you have, like, all the painted eggs.
Yeah, you hard boil and paint the eggs and give them spooky colors.
Snoop Pigeon says, what do you mean you unroll the toilet paper roll before using it? You have expensive habits and tastes, Snoop Pigeon. That's all I have to say.
I mean,
you must have your plumber on speed dial.
Who says they flush it?
I mean, we all know when it comes to toilet paper, the cardboard is the most effective part.
To what?
That's a very important clarification. To what?
The most effective at what? What? Don't leave me hanging. At what? I want to save myself.
I mean, I think it's funnier if I don't answer.
I think you're right.
You know, I think this is a good way of showing, like, just how much improv is in our episodes, you know? Like, we don't plan this. There was no way I could plan this.
There is absolutely no way I would have put that on a script.
Warple says, what do you mean y'all don't have a garbage disposal installed in your toilet? And then V That's Me says, what, do you use toilet paper with or without the shell? And Snoop Pigeon says, I agree, the brown part is the most effective part. You see, everyone believes you, Zagbot. Everyone agrees. Yay, everybody!
Wait, okay. So wait. I think the shell would be the plastic on the outside. Because
or the paper
because
wrap if it's a hotel wrap, you know.
That would mean that the cardboard inside would be the bone.
Toilet paper bones!
This implies the existence of, like, a toilet paper creature.
It doesn't imply, but it definitely leaves the possibility. There's a key distinction.
Thank you.
Okay, this has been the slides about Squid Squad.
Well, it's like we went on a tangent in toilet paper the whole stream.
Are you gonna be alright?
Yes, I'm gonna be alright.
Okay, Wurmple says, do you prefer your TP bone-in or boneless?
Bone in, please. I don't need a skein of toilet paper.
Okay, so we probably need to go to the next slide or we're gonna be here all day.
How about we talk about the turf war industry then? Because, yeah, it's a whole industry. You know turf war? The mode where 8 people get in one place and shoot at each other and the ground for 3 minutes? You get paid like $15 for that. What's the deal? Yeah, $15 for 3 minutes.
Oh wow, that's much better than jury duty.
In Splatoon 1, turf war is a niche subculture. They buy weapons and clothes which look cool and fight each other anywhere they can find. They're in it for the heart, not the money. I mean, the money's still good, but why? Why is the money good? It's because of the hive mind. And I like, that's not an exaggeration, because jellyfish have a hive mind. They're really weird people. They still have individuality and preference, but they also seem to know vaguely what everyone else is doing. So sometimes they want to experience something, and they pretend to do that thing. A great example of this is the iconic jellyfish wedding of Mahi Mahi Resort. They are not getting married officially, they are just experiencing a wedding. Because they want to. Likewise, having a job is performance art. But there's some things that they can't do, like, say, turf war, so jellyfish pool their money en masse to the turf war industry so that way Inklings can get paid and jellyfish can experience turf war vicariously.
Okie dokie. Okay.
So they're the ones behind the war economy.
Oh, for sad face. So catching up on chat is, does TP have inside or outside bones? Says Snoop. Chaotic Wurmple
Inside.
Says, Chaotic Wurmple says both. Snoop says that's a lot of bones. Chaotic Wurmple says shell for the outside bones and bone for the inside bones. And then V, that's me, says why does eating food boost the money? And then Chaotic Wurmple says, current beef with YouTube stream is hitting send on my mobile keyboard that does not send message in the chat. Word!
Okay, so why does eating, get you more benefits in game? I don't know. I don't know if that's ever been explained. It might just be because you're, like, they're sponsoring you? Here, have stuff from Crab and Go.
We will pay you as long as this is still in your digestive system.
I don't know if that's how that works, but, like, that's the best guess I have. I haven't done research on that, shockingly. I was more interested in the fact that jellyfish have a hive mind.
Snoop Pigeon agrees. The food boosting money is just doing a sponsored ad.
Yeah, probably.
I won this match because of insert product here.
Are you an influencer now?
Well, okay, like, cause the turf war industry has kind of exploded. Like, jellyfish began to dump so much money into the turf war industry that the corporations realized there's actually a market. Fast forward 9 years, and turf war is an actual funded sport, with Splatfest being closer to a holiday than a party. There are leagues, sponsorships, turf battlers are models. The industry is huge. Hey, Neo Agent 3 is in a fashion magazine. Dabbing. Because of course they are. Of course they're the one who gets to dab.
Wormhole. We'll pay you extra as long as the food is as long as the food's in your digestive system. Don't worry how we keep track of that.
Is this like an Amazon, like, no bathroom breaks scenario? What? I'm on YouTube. I can say that now.
I don't want to think about it.
Okay, things we want to be in games and in the past. No bathroom breaks and war crimes.
Yeah, and then Pigeon's like, look at how our foods boosted this squid's performance. Instead of having a 5-0 splat ratio, they got a 0-5 splat ratio. What a great improvement!
So, the number of times you splat people goes first. So, 0-5 is very bad.
I'm just reading what they write.
That is so bad.
Yeah, I know. I know they wrote it that way on purpose.
I know. I'm explaining the joke because you guys don't play the game.
Okay, so is this like another like Coca-Cola situation where they just kind of put drugs in it?
Okay, I shamefully I didn't make a slide on the Grizzco weapons because that's kind of relevant to that.
They put drugs in them?
Okay, so Grizzco has like these special weapons called the Grizz weapons, and they're basically the most overpowered shit you could ever wield on a battlefield. They have these canisters on them which look like pill bottles, and they are said to have an addictive quality. So the Grizzco weapons might literally be putting, like, drugs directly into your ink stream. Like, just...
Me, that's me, says, I just remember about Splatoon's connections to the real world via concerts and the NSO app.
Yeah,
What's the NSO app?
I think it's the Nintendo Online one.
Oh, okay. Or
but yeah,
Switch Online?
Yeah, Nintendo Switch Online, yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't have any explanation for that one aside from we made them. We did make
Make what?
Inklings happen.
Oh.
So of course we know what they're doing 10,000 years from now. As for the concerts, I don't know if those are canon. I really don't know. I haven't seen anything on those that have become canon. That doesn't mean they can't start. Imagine gatekeeping the lore not just behind the Japanese language, but in a concert that only takes place in Japan for hundreds of dollars. I would not put it past them.
Yeah, that sounds pretty believable.
It could happen. Alright, so took a small detour to talk even more about how Grizzco sucks.
But the question is it making the Inklings who use the weapons addicted, or is it a ploy to get more salmonids to come up to the surface by getting them hooked on drugs?
I think it's just so that way the Inklings work more. Because, although it's weird to think that, like, you would need to incentivize an Inkling to do more turf battling of, like, any variety, because it's, like, all they do.
So, on behalf of my employers, I would like to say, do drugs, kids.
No, just...
Okay, so that's me, says, they don't stream the concerts, and Snoop replies they should gatekeep the lore in French instead. It would be much more accessible.
Just wait. One day I do actually do the Duolingo stream, and you're not there to witness my completely horrendous French.
That's me, they should gatekeep the lore in ballet cipher.
In ballet? No.
And then we're both like, yay, I can't wait to do drugs again.
Yeah, the latest Grizzco weapon is incredible. It's a roller that, like, mostly what it does is it makes you go very fast, so you can just run over everything, and it is the most fun thing they've ever done. I need it back. I know that this is a problem,
Shuckle's got a need for speed.
Gotta go fast.
Wrong franchise. Unless...
No, the crossover we didn't know we needed.
No, wait, that's Smash Bros. We can have Inklings fighting Sonic whenever we want.
Yeah, but Smash Bros. Sonic, when would you want that?
Fair.
B That's Me says it has a built-in engine.
Yeah, it does. It makes vroom noises. It sounds like a motorcycle when you just, like, go. And it's so good. I played so much of that big run, because, like, I could not get enough. It's so good. Alright. So, let's also talk about the criminal underbelly of that this turf war industry has created, because Splatfests in particular give out rewards called Super Sea Snails. Super Sea Snails are highly sought after by Inklings because their shells can be used to upgrade gear and make it able to hold more abilities. This seems to be considered a shortcut, however. You can bring the sea snails to Murch and Spike, the sea urchins. They will upgrade for you, as long as they can keep the meat of the snail. Some interviewers use similar language to talk about this, like one would talk about addiction. Like, alcohol or gambling. They really like those snails.
So are, Super Sea Snails distant descendants of Super Mushrooms?
A comparison has been made to those and to Mai from one of the Zelda games, Link Between Worlds. They look kind of similar to those as well. The vertical eyes just evoke that vibe.
Just kind of on that, like, you know, rounded, flat-colored face. Just the two vertical eyes. And just the way it kind of has a cap over it.
I can kind of see it.
It's like, if I didn't have the context, I would probably assume that was a Mario power-up. I mean, you know,
I would have heard about it.
Sea Snail Mario is something we are desperately missing out on. That is the only benefit if Splatoon ended up being a Mario spinoff.
Okay, the bad thing about this being live is I'm never going to get to see these in meme form.
Yeah, I, like, once we start, like, updating, more things with all of our memes and, slideshows and things, I might be able to sneak in a couple Splatoon memes in there, you know, that just...
What? You'd want to make Splatoon memes?
I snuck a Splatoon meme into the fishing memes, you know, like...
Splatoon!
V, that's me. I forgot y'all talked about the cannibalism. I forgot if y'all talked about the cannibalism thing or not.
Okay, which cannibalism thing?
There's more than one.
Oh boy.
Okay, because, like, as far as we can tell, there are, like, you know, like, feral squids still out there, feral fish still out there, but, like, there's also all the heavy implications that, like, you know, people eating people is kind of normal. Like, sure, squids get, like, haircuts, but do you, like...
Those are appendages.
Those are appendages made out of meat. Do people just throw them away? I highly doubt it.
What? That's the comment.
I mean, it's like, you know, the whole thing with, you know, octoling tentacles is like, yeah, those become autonomous beings when they're severed. So, you know, maybe if you, like, you know, put them in a pan with a little spice or something would, you know, stop them from turning into soldiers.
Yeah, that might do that.
But you also kind of gotta eat them, and, you know, be careful about it, because they did start baking them into bread once, and that didn't kill them.
That did not kill them, no.
Yes, I Am Bread is canon in Splatoon.
Okay, how about I finish talking about all the Urchin stuff, because Spike and Murch
Okay.
are kind of a thing here. Like, where, like, both these urchins come from the same countryside town, with Murch, the younger one, looking up to Spike for being so cool and successful. He was just so young and innocent at the time. As he's gotten older, he started to see the cracks, but he can't stop now. He's been doing this for 7 years now. Like, this thing which in the lore has stated that this is probably not good for him. Spike, you monster. You encouraged him. Stop looking at me all judgingly like that. I'm gonna be the one judging you, sir. I have feelings about this.
I see that. Shuckle does not condone corrupting today's youth.
Yeah, like, there's even, like, some dialogue from, like, Smallisk talking about, like, why it tried to, like, grayscale Murch was so that way, like, he wouldn't go deeper down this path that he's on. And, like, very aware for a baby. The baby sees the red flags. I don't think this is the right approach. I don't think grayscaling would be, like, the approach in, like, any instance.
Yeah.
Alright, I think I have, like, one more, like, section I prepared, and, like, is there anything we want to, like, touch on before we see those? Okay. Because we're going to talk about Marigold. On the streets of Splatsville and Dinkopolis, there is a goldfish working for Crab and Go named Marigold. Marigold is sweet, helpful, and friendly. She is a beacon of hope amid this sea of lore that is hard to understand and full of dark undertones. She goes by Staff, according to the game, and sometimes also works at the Recon in order to help players scout out maps. She also runs the card game tournaments one street over. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. All instances of Marigold look virtually identical, and while they are supposed to be stationed in spots where you could see more than one at the same time, there's only ever one in sight. Is there only one Marigold? Is she omnipresent? If there are multiple Marigold, or just identical workers, why is only one rendered in at a time? We have alternative aliases for Marigold, and in Sunken Scroll 24, she's simply labeled as subject name Marigold. What kind of subject? Not suspect, which implies she may not be a criminal, but a subject created by who? By what? Why is there a fourth place that Marigold seems to work behind the shuttered counter at Grizzco? Did she know what Mr. Grizz was up to and did nothing? She's in both Splatsville and Dinkopolis at the same time, which is a 3-hour commute. Is she stalking the player? Rumor has it that she knows everything happening in Splatsville. Is she actually everywhere and anywhere? How far-reaching is this perception and power? Has anyone actually tried to shoot Marigold? I know the city is a no-weapon zone, but I'm just saying, I don't know if she can be killed. We may learn more about the strength of her abilities if we tried.
Breath. Breathe. Breathe. Okay, so, before all that, B says jellyfish shenanigans, and during it, Snoot Pigeon, she was a Pokemon Center attendant in another life.
That's the best explanation we've got, except for the fact that you can't see more than one of her at the same time. It's a very strange detail to add. Like, she just won't. Like, even if she, like, even if she has, like, 2 in the plaza, if you try to look at both spots at the same time, she'll only be at the one that's closest to you. So, like, what? How does that, why this particular detail?
It's just to mess with you.
I know it's theory baiting and it's working! Can't you tell?
Yes. That's a rant of great magnitude.
So, I gotta wonder, did this, potential, this testing, this, where the subject name comes from, is like, did this have anything to do with, say, a secret science facility out in the desert and an anti-mass spectrometer? Has this person ever tried to, give you a large orange crystal?
No, but there are liquid crystals in lore. And you find all this information in Alterna.
Oh, jeez. Wurple says, can confirm she was the one that glitter glued my outside bones back together after a freak battling accident. So there we go.
I'm glad you're okay.
In the liquid crystals, right? Those are filled with squid fluids, right?
Yes.
Squid fluids. Sentient squid fluids. Right?
Well, okay. They are, like, psychically receptive. Like, they're mind reading. They can detect thoughts and adapt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Their activity is purely reactionary.
Yeah. And,
so they're not thinking, but they're reacting to thinking.
Yeah. So, like, that's how Inklings can change their ink color. It's just they think it, and the crystals go, like, whoop. It makes me think that if this was real, there would be so many more instances of cheating in turf war.
Well, yeah.
If you can just change your color whenever you want.
Entire team is spy!
Somehow that seems like it wouldn't work, though. Wurple. Someone thought a thought and they took psychic damage.
I do that all the time. As is obvious.
Yes, this slide is evidence of psychic damage.
I loved
it's one of those pause to read.
Yeah, I loved how you immediately had that stifled laugh when I changed to the slide.
And like what I put in the chat is big Shuckle feelings.
Yep.
I don't know if we're ever gonna get Marigold answers. Like, it could really go either way.
Wurple says, could never tell. Not at all.
What? No, this series isn't an excuse for me to info dump about my fixation. No. What are you talking about?
Wait, do you mean to tell me this was secretly the whole purpose of Splatoon to begin with?
Okay, no, Splatoon was not made specifically to cater to me, but somehow it happens to have done the job.
Okay, Pigeon says, if they gotta think about their ink color to change it, does that mean if they have one of many visual impairments affecting color that they can't switch or that they don't have any color? If a squid is blind, are they invisible? And then Wurple says, Shuckle, the workaholic, inflicting psychic damage on herself? Impossible!
This is what I had to deal with on a bi-daily basis.
Yeah. Leaves Me says, Table Turf dialogue confirms something about Marigold.
Well, that's one thing. Yeah, Table Turf is, the only reason why we know her name is Marigold, because she has a card, and it's labeled Marigold instead of Staff.
There we go.
So that's aside from, I guess, this as well, the sunken scroll with the subject name Marigold. But it could have been, a code name for all we knew until, you get the card, and it's oh, no, that's just your name. That's just what you're going by. Notably, all her other aliases are just ways of saying goldfish. So, real good aliases. They're, Right, okay, but on the subject of, ink colors, Interestingly, we do actually have an instance of an inkling who can have multiple ink colors at the same time. It's a very rare, like, genetic condition, and she, of course, is in a band. Her name is Yoko. Her current band is Yoko and the Gold Bazookas. As in the instruments. As in, like, horns and trumpets and things, and it's an all-girls band. But she had another band in Splatoon 2 that I don't remember the name of. Wait, maybe it was Ink Theory. It might have been Ink Theory. That doesn't matter. What matters is that she can have 4 ink colors at once, and it has a tentacle in, like, different ink colors. That's why I brought her up.
Snoop Pigeon. Hi, my name is Staff. Nice to meet you.
So, what's the deal with you? Do you cast magic?
Like a magic staff, oh my god. I, like, honestly, when Marigold was, like, revealed, as in, like, Staff was revealed, I was so disappointed because I was just like, oh, they have, like, a generic NPC now. I'm kind of sad. And then they did this with it. And they're like, yeah, we need a generic NPC. How can we make it not feel like a generic NPC? Well...
Lore bait ahead.
Generic NPC is a cover-up.
We could make this the biggest mystery of the series.
Well, now that Mr. Grizz has been unmasked, it is kind of the biggest mystery in the series, for now. Like, we don't have answers. We may never get answers. Like, I mean, maybe there's some bigger mysteries out there. Like, why does calamari incantation do that? Like, really, though? Is it actually etched in the DNA of Inklings? Was it first made in Alterna and then it reacts to the crystals? What's going on? Why is calamari incantation do that? Are we ever gonna actually get these answers, considering Callie and Marie might not be coming back for any story mode in the future? Well, probably not, then.
Horrible. Generic NPC is her witness protection card.
Very good. Very good. Oh, so that's every question that I got sent, and then, like, all the topics that I had the energy to cover right now, made into slide form. Oh, how are you guys feeling?
Alright. Do you want... I mean, we could talk a little bit about the hats before we go.
Alright, yeah, let me go ahead and, close this. We finished that. Hi. Okay.
Hi.
So, we're all wearing squid hats. You are wearing a Squid Girl hat, which is an anime. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Squid Girl, but I really liked...
I have.
I have too.
Thank you. But, yeah, I really liked Squid Girl, and so I cosplayed Squid Girl, and you made the hat.
And the dress.
And the dress, yes. And so I cosplayed as Squid Girl at a anime convention that I went to. Actually, I think I wore it multiple years. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that anime has the collab item from Splatoon 1, yeah. The last few matches I ever played of Splatoon 1, I made sure to wear that outfit because I'm never gonna get the chance to again. That collab, that was a one-time thing. That's never happening again.
Right. And then you want to tell them how you felt and what happened to you when you wore your Squid Girl outfit to the Anime Con?
So, me, who voice acts the games I play, obviously get very in character when I cosplay, which means a bunch of little girls who recognized my costume would run up to me and try to talk to me, and so I would basically be a Disney princess for these little kids who loved anime.
Oh, and the best part was what you got invited to a panel because of that too.
I did, yeah. Not the first time that happened, or that's the first time that happened, but the second time that happened, I was Peridot from Steven Universe. So, I really like being in character, and people running panels love that about me.
You were on an environmental court panel as Squid Girl.
Yes.
You got to talk about the inking terrible crap that's happening to our oceans.
Yes, I was up against Tony Stark, and shocker, I lost. Absolute shocker. That Squid Girl, who has no grasp of the economy, nor, any of the resources for a good lawyer, would lose to Tony fucking Stark. The niche version of a Disney princess. Yep, exactly. And the other hat, though, you guys are probably going to recognize that this is the Squid Stitch cap. So this is when I cosplayed one of my Inkling characters, who is in the writings, the fan fiction that I've made.
The glass ceiling strikes once again. I don't know, isn't that just kind of like the surface of the ocean for Squid Girl? Like, she can get just past it, but not much further.
True. Honestly, one of the best things about, surface life is that they have it's much easier to eat shrimp. They can't run away.
What is it with you and characters that like to eat shrimp?
I like to eat shrimp.
You see, Shuckle is a character who likes to eat shrimp.
They resonate.
They do. They do.
Also, I'm gonna just lift this up here because I want to show off that this does have tentacles.
Huh?
This hat was made off of a Splatoon 1 design, so only the ponytails were those were the only boy hairstyles back then. And now, because this is this shares a development team with Animal Crossing. One of the big changes that happened for Animal Crossing in New Horizons and New Leaf, I'm not sure which one did this, but they removed the restrictions of gender for hair and clothing, and so Splatoon then followed in the footsteps and removed the restrictions on hair. So now any Inkling can have any Inkling hair, and same with Octolings. So. That means that, this is not a boy hairstyle anymore.
Yay!
It's just a style. It's just putting the tentacles in a ponytail. I mean, anybody with long enough hair can have a ponytail.
Or you can get an extension one.
Mm-hmm.
Wear a wig, put that in a ponytail.
Yep.
But yeah, so... those of you who have, followed me for a while know that my best friend Pichu and me write these, stories. So this is an OC from that story that I've worked on with Pichu, and when I cosplayed this, Pichu cosplayed alongside me as her own Inkling. It's a squid hairstyle or a kid hairstyle.
Why not both?
Well, you don't really see the hairstyle in squid form, right? So it's kind of a kid hairstyle specifically.
True. It just happens to have elements of squid sprinkled on. Sprinkled. You could have a ponytail said while wearing a donut. The news that you have a ponytail, is not a shock to me.
Awesome! Is this an appreciation for what we already have? Cool!
What if I tied this into a ponytail?
It's more of a cross. Because these are
stiff.
bendable. They're not
stick.
They're not posable like these ones.
Yeah, you actually made me posable tentacles.
Well, yeah.
Whenever I did that for a photo, people just went
I had a lot of fun making that costume. Yeah, it's not my favorite one I ever made, but yeah, I enjoyed making Peridot more. Peridot was like a magic trick. You went to bed, it was barely started, you woke up in the morning and it was finished.
Yep, and I was getting up early just so I could work on it, and then it was
Stayed up all night.
It was magically done. Magically, by mom magic.
Because then I could nap and you could con all day.
Yep. I was known as the Peridot with the very big head.
Maybe stream can bribe you into showing sometime.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like that big head is how you know you're smarter than all those clods.
Or at least you're the smartest clod there is.
See,
My
to
diamond.
be fair, you talk about your long hair and not infrequently. I'm actually trying to remember when you do talk about long hair. Wait. What if I've just, like, miraculously skipped every single message where you've ever talked about having long hair?
You have hair trouble we don't know about?
Me?
Yeah. Nope.
Well,
I'll take that as a no.
Once upon a time, I had really long hair, and
You did.
I did not like to brush it, and it got tangled up into many knots.
It's like,
That was a long process.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the time I got a snake stuck in my hair. That actually wasn't a bad experience.
It's just the snake, liked the cover and didn't want to leave.
Yeah, it's like the snake was nice. It's a nice snake.
You
Nice
mean,
snake.
Sackbot, the snake liked your vibe?
Or at least my hair.
Hair vibe. I could have sworn I talked about it here. Maybe one time, but the problem is I've been streaming actively for... Oh, jeez, I've almost finished year 3 now, haven't I? Because, I started in September. Oh, right, it's the first time here on YouTube. Yeah, okay, yeah, you've never mentioned it. Never. Until now. Absolutely never.
So, Shuckle, on that note, you want to talk about your stream just for a second for playback later purposes so you can advertise your stream? Wink, wink.
Yeah, so it has been on stream for a while, but I can talk about it that I'm Honey Shuckle EX on Twitch, and I stream right now on Tuesdays and Fridays. As the seasons get a little bit colder, I might be streaming on Sundays again. But that's not going to be a while because it's summer! It's summer! But right now, I am in the process of doing a challenge run of Hollow Knight. But I will definitely be streaming the Splatfest when that happens. I'm Team Beach, as opposed to Theme Park or Palace. I'm do a reverse plug.
No, we're kind of doing a reverse plug. We're talking on YouTube about going to Twitch.
Oh my god, right, because I'm on the podcast talking about my Twitch instead of on my Twitch talking about my podcast. Yeah, like that.
Yep.
Yeah, all the time. Speaking of, have you heard about Splatoon June?
Which, after that latest, I forget what the name of that YouTuber you shared. So maybe it has the potential to become a supercut if you want to sleep to it, So we'll see how all that goes.
Yeah, the exploit from Spiffing Brit, yes.
But upcoming in Collab Not Multiplayer, we should be having an episode in another couple weeks.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about the Beginner's Guide.
Which was made by the person, who made, Stanley Parable. So, I mean, if you guys like Stanley Parable, you'll appreciate this, probably.
It's a trip, anyway. And then we are undecided for sure what's going to be next, so that's going to be a surprise to us all. And then after that is Outer Wild August.
You guys thought you had escaped? Like the plugs that I'm going to have bound to this key, able to pop up whenever I want? No, it's going to be Outer Wilds August next. Oh, the power.
There is no escape.
And that time will come.
It's the first time you hear about Splatoon June on this channel streams. That is technically true, sure. Yeah, the first time that plug is happened.
Well, they say there's a first time for everything, and we're getting a lot of them in chat today.
Mm-hmm.
Anything we need to wrap up?
Oh, perfect timing. The neighbors upstairs are living their lives again.
Good for you guys.
Good for you guys, yeah.
They're regular guest appearances on the podcast, especially.
Yeah.
At least their footsteps are.
Especially. So, yeah, for those of you fellow Splatoon fans, I like I was saying with like my Twitch, I will be playing more Splatoon there. I have a massive grind coming for like getting the golden splash tag, so those streams are probably going to be coming back in the near future. Yeah, you can ! Thunder here. No, you can't.
What does it do on the stream?
It counts how many times they've overheard the neighbors.
Oh!
I think so far, like, right now it's at, like, 23 times.
I see that. Well, that's so funny because that thunder thing I started in the household because I have big, loud footstep trauma. It actually brings back some of my PTSD stuff. So I started trying to think about it when I hear it as, it's none of my business, it's just the weather. I just try and think of it as thunder. And enough so that the people who lived there before, I nicknamed their dog Thunder because he would make a lot of noise running back and forth across the apartment. But anyway.
So, yeah.
It's
so
funny. I didn't know you had adopted that in your stream.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, it was also especially, like, out here, because the computer that I used to play Deep Rock Galactic on is right there. So...
But it's not actually Sackbot. There's a computer on the other side of
yeah,
Sackbot.
yeah, not you over there.
Yeah, by the way, I am capable of, well, not running Deep Rock Galactic, but...
Can you run Doom?
Yeah, definitely.
The human brain can run Doom. Yeah, so... Oh, geez, where was I? Right, yeah. So, like, we overheard a lot of stuff with Thunder when I was, like, sitting there. I actually implemented it because I was so annoyed with the fact that, they were remodeling the apartment upstairs when the last people moved out. It was so loud, I couldn't ignore it, so I was just like, alright, it's a command now, whenever you hear it, ! Thunder!
So, which Doom we talking about?
The OG, right?
Yeah,
'Cause...
I don't think you could get Doom 2016 and run it on a fridge. Maybe getting it to display on a fridge through something else.
You know, I hear people tweet from their fridge.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that video clip I saw where somebody hooked up their Alexa to a Billy Bass.
Yeah. I remember that. That's real good.
We're living in the future.
It's like, you know, if Inklings had, you know, digital assistants like that, they would totally be just, like, talking fish or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, canonically, we have, like, an Instagram equivalent in the Splatoon universe. It's called, like, Ikagram, I think, because Ika means squid. So, Ikagram. Let's see, one day we can only hope... Wait, we can only hope what? When did that show up? When? Is it... Oh, it might be about the Alexa fish.
Sure. What are the goals, right?
Goals. Can you play Splatoon on a fridge? Actually important game contrary to Doom. Right, because Doom has had no historical importance whatsoever.
It's definitely not a, one of the most important video games ever made.
Definitely not.
It all depends on how you convey importance.
Yeah, I mean, because Splatoon is definitely more important to me than Doom. But Splatoon could not exist in its current state without something like Doom having existed before it.
Yep.
Like, yeah. Because, like, if there wasn't ever Doom, there would be something eventually.
Cause, yeah, it's like, you know, people like Gun and, gun shoot thing.
People love gun.
Yeah. Gonna make me tired and sad for the most part.
Well, the guns I like are buckets, so...
I kind of like buckets. Not necessarily cleaning or throwing up, but...
So is it a gun or a bucket, or like a gun shaped like a bucket?
Well, it's a bucket that's full of ink. And used in fights against guns.
What do you mean we wouldn't have Doom without Splatoon?
Right, because, you see, much like we beam our tweets into the future for the Inklings, we also have beamed Splatoon into the past, so that way development teams would know to create Doom.
Oh.
This is the Splatoon lore that you guys, really didn't know about.
You bring the bucket to the gunfight.
Exactly, yeah. Splatoon is the game where the sword outranges the sniper rifle.
Okie dokie then.
But does it get outranged by the pen?
One of them, yeah.
Well, there you have it.
The pen is mightier than the sword.
Alright, so let's wrap this up. You're gonna see us again here in 2 weeks. You're gonna see Shuckle on Twitch at HoneyShuckleEX
On Friday.
.tv on Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific time.
And I don't know exactly how to, do any, they're stream redirects, and I don't know who's live, so we can't really raid anybody, so...
I'm frightened to do that anyway.
If I had some friends who I knew were gonna be live, you would be fine.
Of course! But right now, doing this in an unfamiliar platform, interacting with a rando...
Yeah, I avoid...
Can you imagine if we got raided? That would have freaked me out.
I would have been so hyped.
Okay. Well, then I would have ridden your hype, because, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, you can only know the hidden Splatoon lore from playing the French version and both Doom and Splatoon. Gatekeeping in French again.
Again, it's all gate kept in French. Always.
Oui, oui.
So yeah. I'm HoneyShuckleEX.
I'm Sackbot Barbecue.
Now I'm Giggle Klutz.
This has been Collab Not Multiplayer, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye!
Bye.
That feels so weird, just start with that end of the song instead of the outro. I don't know.